Yo, what's up guys? As of recently, I've been getting a bunch of improvements on rune qualities, especially on speed. So my fastest set is looking something like this right now. Fastest on the 6 is my 34, one of my oldest runes. This one, more recent rune, also a 34. On the slot 3, if we go for Vio, is a 32. And then this one, the one that a lot of people got very jealous for, the 36er over there. And then if we want to finish that up with Will, that will be a 32 over there. And then, of course, we finish that off with something along the lines of a bit of HP. And then this would be the absolute max set that I can make. 210 Vio Will. It is a bit of a weird set, though, because it has accuracy and it has crit damage, but it doesn't have that much crit rate. And it is a bit of HP, but also not too much HP, but also same thing for attack. It doesn't have too much in these. If we want to max that out, we can, of course, also just simply do this. And then we have a 212 set. But then the question is, where does this set actually fit? For that, we would most likely have to look at a unit that can guaranteed crit. So let's look at the units that have guaranteed crits. Alicia, the accuracy doesn't really make too much sense. Same for Ardemil. Björnchel, accuracy you don't need that much. Chandra is an option, but do you want to go that much on accuracy on the Chandra? I'm not sure. Chivo, mostly not a fire unit. Diaz would actually make a bit of sense. Maybe a little bit too much accuracy for my liking. I'm also not sure what he awakens into. Does he awaken into... No, he would make sense. Maybe a bit too overdone on the accuracy, but I would like that on a Diaz. Jara, not really. Josephine, to be honest, crit damage on the Josephine, accuracy in the 6. It is not that bad on a Josephine. Kumar kind of weirdly makes sense as well. Because you do have the Oblivion, you do have the Silence, you have some max HP scaling, which is not going to be that great, but kind of makes sense. Rahul, more or less a little bit the same thing. Same for Ritesh. Ashan, it would actually make sense on the Shan by a fair bit. Yeah, it would actually be a really good Shan set. Maybe even a Teor. I could see that work. And I can give the argument for a Zyros if you want to Vio Zyros or a Itadori on fire. Those kind of make sense as well, where I would say, to a certain extent, kind of makes sense. So let's go into World Geld Battle, and let's use 2 of these units that I think might be kind of fun on these kind of sets. For the units I have a Teor, and I think it might be kind of cool. I could go for Josephine, but I just don't really like the unit. It's a little bit boring, but let's just go for... Therefore, let's go for the Fire Itadori. It's not really a unit that really needs a Vio that much, but at least he has 2 skills on guaranteed crits anyway. So let's put that set to the Teor. It is a little bit low on the attack right there, but it has a something, I guess. And this kind of does make sense over there for an artifact. 212 Vio set with Broken on the Teor. And in that case, we also have to speed up this one and this one by just a little bit. Rest of the teams I use, pretty typical and standard teams. Maybe some of them would work a little bit better than others, but we shall see. Let's get going. First team, where do you land at? You landed on you. Kind of bad, but not the worst. Depends how much procs you get on that. Few procs, but as mentioned, not the worst. We can go for an S2, hit that. Spread this, some good disperse stunts, nice. Let's get you in for a stun, or not. We are increasing cooldown. I would like you to have a little bit more of a hit in. Maybe you can kill it. Yep, we can kill that. Let's just hit you, so you would guarantee use that shield on self, which also removes your HP. And this team is just so broken, man. I keep saying this, man. I should actually save more of this team. Like, I do have second Amber. I don't have the second one of the other 2, but this team is definitely broken. Okay, could be a full anti-Leo-ish shenanigans kind of thing. Capture on the right. No, it's actually dealing no damage whatsoever. Shatter, that's kind of bad for potential damage output that he has. A little bit of damage output out there. Let's go for this. You go for that. That is fine. Let's reciprocate those hits right there. Now you go for left, which is also totally fine. Some people have been asking me in the past, why don't you put the lead on the Feng Yang? Because then you have lead for the whole team. Well, the simple fact is, this thing is so incredibly stupid tanky, which I will showcase in a second. That thing is impossible to kill. Plus, I would like them to hit this rather than the Feng Yang. So it's not that much more that you get on defense, but the Alaya dying is so almost impossible that I just don't care about it happening at all ever. And I'd rather have that little bit of extra protection on the 2 units on the left, because those actually are on destroy. Those are actually the damage dealers. those, well, in the case of Feng Yang, also deal damage by the defense that he's then stacking a little bit more. And this Alaya is unkillable, like legit. I will showcase the runes in a second. That thing is absolutely unkillable. And this Feng Yang does too much stupid damage. We outspeed those. We like it when we outspeed those, because then we can do this over there, that over there. I like the Bastet buff as of recently. Bastet buff went like 5% more for the attack bar gain or something, or even 10. I think it is 5. Yeah, it used to be 25, now it's 30, which makes this team a little bit easier to run. And you can make these units a little bit slower. I haven't made them slower yet, but it is actually kind of nice where I have the option to do so, because right now they're about like 50-ish K, 55K on the hits on attack buff and stuff. Would be nice if it's like more towards 60. So now we have the Tear team. Tear team, or we go for this, or we go for a little bit of that. Maybe it's more of a Nefty's victory, but Tear, okay. We do get the additional turn based on that, which is kind of nice. We can go in for skill 2. Does do good damage. Does actually do pretty solid damage right there. Skill 1 into additional turn. Man, getting additional turns on 212 is just nasty. Whoa, that damage though. Yo, this is a Sean set and a half, though. Like, a lot of people say, like, oh, Sean is, like, not buildable because you have to get so much stats in. But with this kind of set, I still rather place those runes elsewhere, in all honesty. But it is cool to see, like, a 55k from your fastest set out there, which is kind of nice. Okay, so I think you are low on HP, so we take you out first. And then we take you out second. And then it's easy, clear from there. So let's also check that out with the Itadori. It's kind of a similar unit to a Teor, where the S3 and S2 just provide a lot of damage value, and you probably put it next to Cleaves and kind of stuff. Yeah, that's probably what's going to end up once again. And that's also how I mostly do my World Guild battles. Just don't give them too many turns, and then you win. But let me first show you that Alaya that I was talking about. So in the case of the Alaya, plus 40k HP, plus 1550 on the defense, 100 resistance. This thing ain't dying, man. This thing ain't dying. Okay, let's put that team over there with the Fire Yuji. Only difference is Fire Yuji has a lot more base stats already, at least for the speed. Daily outspeeding this Neftis on the 217 set. That is insane. Okay, I think we can get away with this unless the Saf is swift. If the Saf is swift, we have big issues. This team can fit over there. This one actually does not really fit over there at all. Let's put you up there. And let's simply put you down here, but up your speed by a little bit. If I still have units left over that can actually add more speed to it. Okay, that might be too slow, but I guess we'll fuck around and we'll find out. It's mainly about the first team anyways. And that first team, I will definitely outspeed. That's definitely a thing. No speed lead on that side. Ryan could be swift, but it's seemingly decent fast, but not that big of an issue. Is this once again a Nefty's window? Should I have used something else than a Nefty's? Well, we kind of want the Death Break. How much damage are you dealing on this kind of set? There's not too much attack on this set, and that's noticeable. And also, wait, how did you get resisted on all of that? There's an X6 on you. Pretend like it works. How much damage for this one? 15. Yeah, I guess the set worked a little bit better on the Teor, because it's more speed scaling rather than this thing. Yeah, we do outspeed, which is really nice. Let's do first hit on you. Can we actually take that out? We do take that out, even though that damage is mitigated a bit. You we will definitely take out. And then we go for the chest thingy or the crest thingy on you. And we go for a little bit of a bruiser fight. And bruiser fight is over. Nice. I like this team. It's that well, maybe I should use it for normal RTA more, or normal siege more as well. Okay, so you are kind of hard to kill, most likely, but this is pretty solid damage. Yep, straight up like 60k to the back. Ooh, actually survives that. Mandrake misses on you. Is maybe beneficial for me that it misses over there, otherwise I would have had a big issue. I was expecting to do more damage, but the Beth was kind of tanky. Ooh, is Despair. Oh, Despair kind of makes sense. Yeah, are you slow enough with this? Wow, that's... If you have the speed gap, that thing does an insane amount of damage, man. Okay, we do outspeed. By the sliver, though, it's not that much of an outspeed, but outspeed is an outspeed nevertheless. Miss Death Break on the mid. Not that big an issue if we have some serious matter coming in. Do we increase? We increased on the right. That is the main important one. Oh, wait, we actually triggered the passive. Well, in this case, everything dies. Kind of. Yay. I like this team. Good old Maxi team. I was not expecting to outspeed this, but let's do you over there. Let's do Virus over there. Go for a counter hit. No one cares. We go for this hit over there, and the whole team is pretty much dead already. It's just so stupidly. And then we spread all of the shenanigans, and then everything is pretty much, well, okay. Maybe one extra turn away from that, so you just have to additional turn and things die. Life is easy going with this team, man. Like, this team, the best part about this team is you don't even need runes for it. That's definitely a thing. So yeah, this set, very solid on the Tear, would actually make a lot of sense on the Jean. I could see this working on the DS as well. However, on the UG, it was not that impressive. But let me know in the comments, where would you use this kind of set? Both for RTA and Siege. Because for RTA, this set is definitely split up. And you see that with a lot of the high-end RTA players, actually. These sets are mostly split up where you're not going to use this whole set complete, because it's better to have a few units at 190 speed than one unit at 210 speed. So in this case, you can see that if I go for the whole wheel set, there's 2 runes on Okeanos, 2 runes on Gianna, 1 rune on the Asher, and then 1 rune, well, it's the slot 2, it doesn't really matter anything. So that's also a recommendation you can maybe take from this video. Don't put your first 6 best runes on unit 1, and then your second best 6 on unit 2. You want to create a team that's all out towards similar speeds, and that's where you get drafts such as 195 over there, 199 over there, 196 over there. Okay, this one is a little bit slower. But then it's still possible for a Heigang to 195 outspeed that. Same thing for a 195 Nyx. So you kind of want to create things where you have a team. Like, for example, I could make a 210 Gianna, but then 210 Gianna, and then there's a big speed gap, something of the enemy can proc in between. It's gonna be bad. And therefore, being in the right tune, more important than the most insane speed. But once again, let me know, just for fun, on which unit would you use that whole complete set? Well, thanks for watching for this one. I'll see you as always in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab for the guide video archive, which contains all of the guides that you might need. Hope to see you there.